Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you, everyone? This is Mr. Argueta coming to you week number 5 in our Team Project Summer course. Just wanted to give you this update in regards to what this course is looking like. First and foremost, we have passed the midterm, so please make sure you are keeping up with your grades, looking at some feedback, understanding what the expectations are to pass the course. It's at a critical point right now because we have essentially this week to work on your final projects and next week to kind of put the final touches, and then week 7, that's it, you submit your final project. So you really have about 2.5 weeks left before the final project is due. From my perspective, everyone has done a pretty good job. Let me get this microphone a little closer to me here. Everyone has done a pretty good job in regards to getting together with their teams, it seems like. I have gotten a couple of issues, but for the most part, I think everyone's done well. We're at a point where it's critical that you are finishing up with your team strongly because, as I've mentioned, and it's part of your syllabus, this is a team project, which means that your team will be grading your participation. That's going to impact your overall final grade. So, we reach a point when we came to team dynamics in that discussion. In a team, you reach a point, and this is in all management, you reach a point where if as a leader, we're creating an environment where we're working as a team, the team becomes what's called self-regulating. And what that means is that everyone's putting an effort into a project, and when someone doesn't put effort into that project, you can start noticing that the rest of the team starts getting bothered by that, where the manager or the person that's leading the team doesn't necessarily have to be on top of that. The other members of the team is going to pressure that individual who's not participating or who's not pulling their weight in the projects. And this is a good example. The reason why this class is designed is because you will work in a team. It doesn't matter if it's on a project or in your company or a department or a group or whatever you want to call it. You're part of the customer service group, or you're part of the production group, or you're part of the accounting group, or you're part of the management team. No matter where you go, unless you only work by yourself and no interaction with anyone else, you'll be part of a team. And you'll notice this, and I hope that if you're in this class, you've reached the point where you're understanding management at some level. Teams are going to self-regulate, and if you're the person they're trying to regulate, you're not pulling your weight, and it's not a good thing, guys. In the business world, it's not a good thing, especially if you want to go into business. Now, there's so many misconceptions about business and being your own boss, and people have these fantasies that you're going to do whatever you want, and actually being your own boss is harder. To certain people, it's worse because you're responsible for the success and the failure of it, period. You can't blame anyone. Being an entrepreneur, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I 100% rather come in here, record videos, interact with you guys, have a great time, walk out of this office, go home, put my head on a pillow, and not think about anything else, come back and do it all over again on Monday, than to have those pressures that I did when I was an entrepreneur of how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to pay for, people who've contracted? How are we going to pay for supplies? And that's 24/7. Now, yes, there is the benefit where now you control your income, which is great. Yeah, when it does, great. But when it doesn't, it falls on you. So as an entrepreneur, it's great. But the same thing works out as a team. As a team, the success of the team depends on everyone participating in this project and in any project that you're in. So my encouragement to you is, going through this journey, think about how you felt about the other teammates in your team. If there was a teammate that wasn't pulling their weight, wasn't communicating, wasn't doing their part, and you felt that frustration, that's what it feels like in the real workplace. That's what it feels like when someone else isn't doing their part, or you're not doing your part. It feels as if, there is this sort of burden that you put on everyone. And a self-regulating team the team members, not necessarily the manager or the boss all the time, the team members will put this sort of pressure on you to do your job. So I want you to explore that sort of what's happening within you and what you've put out into this team, because at the end of this, you're also going to do a self-evaluation. You're going to tell me your evaluation. I want you to be extremely honest with this, because it's important for you to understand what you've done and take ownership and accountability of your own actions. So I'm going to be able to verify what you say with what your team says. And it's interesting how people think I'm just not going to read it. I'm going to read your evaluation that you self-evaluated and see if you're being honest. And I'm going to read your team's evaluation. And if there's a huge discrepancy, I'm going to know that your self-awareness wasn't there. You were not taking this class seriously. You did not participate properly. And I will know for those of you who participated, because what you say is not going to be very different than what your teammates say. Now, there's certain areas that we're going to think we put in more effort than others might have perceived. I get that. That's part of it, right? Yes, part of our reality. But I'm going to tell when you're like, I was great, and everyone else is like, that person didn't participate at all. They weren't even communicating. They never emailed us or called or never showed up to meetings or whatever it was. So be aware of that. And the purpose, the way I create this class, or the way I hope to create this class, is for you to have a self-reflective moment, right? For you to say to yourself, you know what, I was a crappy team member and I should have done better, and reach that accountability point and reach out to your team and say, hey, I fumbled the ball here, and I take responsibility of that, and I want to make it up. And you still got time to do that. So, but if you have participated, you've been a part of the team, and I've had people reach out to me and say, man, my team is awesome. My team's done great. Man, I'm happy for you. That's not always the case. Sometimes teams come together and it's just not as well flowing as some of those teams that I've just mentioned. But that stated, so this week we talk about the use of artificial intelligence like ChatGPT and Grammarly and Gemini and, oh my God, Canvas and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a million of them. So here's what I want to, you're at your last bit of this and you're going to go into the workforce. I don't discourage the use of AI. I actually encourage the use of it. It's the proper use of it that I'm trying to help with. And here's what I see happening, especially in the early stages of education here with this artificial intelligence. People think that somehow nobody is aware of it. Everyone is aware of it in education, first of all. And you're not fooling anyone. It is clear. Now, I do have a little bit of an advantage because early on in AI, several years back when AI was getting started, I joined a team, a remote team that basically helped develop the naturalization of it, the back end, the backbone of it. Remember, I was in IT in the past, and the concept of that is being able to help AI become more naturalized. Now, part of what that did was look at the responses that AI does and say, yeah, I wouldn't respond this way, and update it so it can respond better. Now, understand this, and I'm telling you this because I don't want you, we just seen this in the media. We literally seen this on TV in our political arena. They processed the MAHA, the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, manifesto basically, and it was AI generated, and AI hallucinates, which means since it's a logical process thinking, it just connects dots. That's all it does. It connects dots. So think of puzzles. It connects word. It anticipates what word will come next in this sentence. And sometimes it makes up stuff to reason it. It creates things. It hallucinates it and it connects it. And I can't think of a very simple example right now, but a lot of people, when they use AI, they prompt it, and you can tell very quickly when something is prompt, especially if you've used AI, because it doesn't sound human. It's too logical. It doesn't have a personal touch to it. The proper use of AI is when you put your thought to it. Like if I write something and I want to write an email or a report or a discussion reply, and I'm going to put the discussion in there and say, this is how I utilize AI. And I think that this is still fair to say that it's part of my work because, and I'm typing this in ChatGPT or Gemini or Grammarly, and then I say to it, can you reword this in a more structured way? It'll reword my words. It's my work. But now if I go on there and I say, write a response to this post, AI will artificially create what it logically thinks is the answer. And I read it and I instantly know that's not you. One, it's not personalized. And I'm telling you this because you're going to go into the workforce and you don't want to make a fool of yourself when someone asks you to do something from your work and you create AI responses. It generalizes things. It doesn't create things. I, in one of my courses, have people do what's called a SWOT analysis, and then they'll create a SWOT analysis on a company. And then it'll create the SWOT analysis, but the company is fake. It doesn't exist. And then they'll try to pretend as if they have a personal contact with this company. So it'll say, I know the CEO of this company that doesn't exist. So then when I research the company doesn't exist. So how do you know a CEO of a non-existing company? So things like this is what I want you to be careful, because it's easy for anyone with some understanding of artificial intelligence to catch it. It's not difficult. It's not hard at all. Now, people have told me there's no way you can prove it. Absolutely, I can, because I understand the logic behind AI. I get what AI does and I understand what the logic is behind it. Now, you might get away with a couple of instructors that might not be aware or something, but why? Why? The whole purpose of coming to college is to learn. Why would you do that and cheat yourself of the opportunity to properly use the technology and go to the workforce with that beautiful understanding of how to utilize these technologies at its best and not to deceive someone with it? So I use AI daily, guys. I research stocks through AI. I use it to plan my vacations. I use it to log mileage for side gigs and businesses. I use it for so many things. It's so useful. As a matter of fact, I used it recently to help me understand which tax breaks I qualify for. So think of it as a logical thinker, not as a personalized response. So the proper use of AI exists, and we need to understand the balance between those things. And in the academia world, in the world in which you exist today, the use of AI as your work is technically plagiarism now. It's not your work. But when you use it to correct your work, to help you understand, read it and see where it improves on what you've done, man, I encourage you to do that, because that's what I want you to do. I want you to be the best and most professional person that goes out to the workforce. The use of researching laws and researching concepts and getting ideas and understanding things, yes. But also, I need you to understand, as you move forward in your education, you need to reference and cite that I use the AI for this, because someone in the academic world is going to catch you and they're not going to take it lightly. I get it. We're in the associate's level. We're not in deep researching right now, but I think it wouldn't be fair of me to let this slide and not give you the proper understanding of it. Moving on, for some of you who are going on to your bachelor's, they're going to crack down on this harder. And if you move on to your master's, even more. And if you go on to a PhD or doctorate, even further. So I just want you to understand that there is a proper world. There is a world where artificial intelligence is utilized properly. It's going to be a benefit to you. All right, that's my soapbox for the week. It's been cloudy and rainy, but I think it's fair to say that we're out of the cold spells and now back into the warmer weather. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the week. I won't be working on Thursday because it's Juneteenth. Friday I'm going to work remotely, and then Monday I'm taking a day off, so I won't be back till Tuesday. So don't expect the video until around then. Other than that, have a great week, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.